Hard Mark Podcast.
Shrimp on the barbie. Shrimp on the barbie. Do you respect that? That's corruption. I could make a fake snake. You not pee in the pool. You not pee on the barbie. All of myself is clean.
Broadcasting from a frozen block of ice. Welcome to the Hard Mark Podcast, a show where I, Eric Donaldson, wrestling fan of over 30 years, introduce one match per episode to my co-host who's never watched wrestling. We talk about the backstory, we watch the match, then we rank that match on our ever-growing list. The purpose of the show is to see what happens when someone who's never watched wrestling is introduced to its most notable matches, and without any further ado, my very authentic co-host, Flying Ryan Murphy. Hello to you, sir.
Hello.
Representing.
Someone call me Raw.
They do come raw, uncut, unfiltered. That's him.
Yeah, so.
Very uncut. But let's just get into our match. So, this match...
Eric's just not having it right now.
No, I'm not. It's not that I'm not having it. It's just, I got pulled away for a long time in the break between recordings. So I could tell Heather needs a break. So I'm just trying to move us along at a brisk pace. Yeah. That's all. Until you so rudely interrupted me.
No, let's carry on.
Okay. So this match is going to feature a lot of faces we've seen before, so we'll take a couple steps back. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. We saw him during Rumpus time delivering a heartfelt promo to reunite with his son Dustin, but Dusty's history with the McMahon family probably warrants a closer look. So I think that closer look will drive home the argument that wrestling has more than one royal family. So, Dusty Rhodes made a name for himself back in the 1970s, and for a several-year span, he was probably the most popular wrestler in the world. That was due to his dynamic personality and his ability to connect with the audience across all economic and cultural barriers. Now, around the same time that Dusty was enjoying his success, Vince McMahon had purchased the WWF from his father, and he was trying to figure out who he could use as his top star to lead the WWF's national expansion. Now, it was rumored, it was never confirmed, but it's been rumored that Dusty Rhodes had actually been strongly considered for that spot, but ultimately, Hulk Hogan would be the one to be the face of the company during its 80s boom period. But Dusty, he had his eyes on a different role altogether, and that role was to be a booker. Now, I'm pretty sure we've never used this term, we've never talked about this term before. A booker in wrestling, he's the guy that creates the stories. He basically maps out who's feuding with who, kind of what happens in that story to progress things, etc.
That's a thing?
Less so now, but yes. Like in the WWE today, for example, they actually have writers. Until the WWE started using writers, there was no such thing as writers in wrestling. There was only a booker or a booking committee. Just
to give a real brief, all the matches that we've watched kind of, back in the day, the 90s, maybe early to the 80s, did they have a booker?
So think of Booker less as the one who's putting the matches together. Like usually the wrestlers were expected to put the match together. Sometimes they'd have what's called an agent who would usually be an older retired wrestler who would kind of help them put things together. A booker is essentially saying, I want Hulk Hogan to feud with Macho Man Randy Savage. This is gonna be like a 6-month program that builds to like WrestleMania. Okay. I think the story beats will be like Macho Man gets jealous over Hulk and Liz and yada yada yada. So they're more kind of creating the outline of who's programmed with who and that type of thing, as opposed to saying like, and they'll also dictate who wins matches as well. That's also part of the booker's job.
They're kind of like a schedule maker.
Yeah, a real Sherry Glaza of professional wrestling.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Now that I've said that, I can't get that visual out of my brain of her.
It's perfect. I think that is Sherry Glaza.
Yeah, Dusty Rhodes, the Sherry Glaza of wrestling. But where the fuck did I leave in my notes? Okay, so in the 1980s, Dusty, he began to book for the second largest wrestling company in the United States, which was Jim Crockett Promotions. Now, that position ensured that there was going to be a certain level of animosity between Dusty and the WWF, as the rivalry between those organizations was, at times, a bitter one. For example, when Ted DiBiase was brought in to be the rich asshole character of the $1 Million Man, his servant was named Virgil, which is Dusty's real name. That was probably not a coincidence. It was probably just a little dig at Dusty. Also, in the 1990s, there was a character created in the WWF, which was literally just someone doing an impression of Dusty Rhodes, and they named that character Rio Rogers. But more than those, there was probably 2 incidents that people point to as an example of some kind of friction between Dusty and the World Wrestling Federation. First, when Dusty found himself out of a job in the late 80s, he actually came to work for Vince McMahon and the WWF. While he was always known as the Common Man, they introduced Dusty to the audience in a series of videos where he was a pizza delivery man, a plumber, among other odd jobs. Then, upon his debut, Vince insisted that Dusty be clad head to toe in polka dots, which was a puzzling costume choice at the time. Then, years later, when Dusty's son Dustin, who we saw on Rumpus Time, when Dustin went to work for the McMahons, in a story that we've told previously, the Texas Cowboy was presented with the gimmick of Goldust, the androgynous, gold-painted freak that used sexuality to get in the heads of his opponents.
When this era, like when was
everything
this?
I'm talking about here?
Yeah.
That's over the course of probably the mid 80s to mid 90s.
Do you think this is probably a really dumb question? So brace yourself.
There's no such thing as a dumb question, Ryan.
What about Goldfinger from Austin Powers? Does this have any tie into this?
I highly doubt it. I think Goldfinger. Well, wait, Goldmember. You're thinking of?
Was it Goldmember?
Goldfinger was James Bond. They were parodying James.
Okay,
Bond,
yeah.
Goldfinger by using
Goldmember from Austin Powers.
I don't think Goldust factored into the parody at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't think it's related?
I doubt it. I mean, maybe there was a very small hint of a correlation between the two, but I don't think that there was. I don't think so. I would be surprised. Like Goldust, I don't think was enough of a. I don't think it was mainstream enough to warrant Mike Myers making a film parody about that character or anything like that.
Okay. Well, there's no stupid questions on this podcast.
There's no stupid... That's right. That's rule 1 of this podcast. No stupid questions. But there's some that claim that all the things that we just talked about, that none of these things were digs at Dusty. The reality is we'll probably never really know. Either way, I think in real life, Dusty felt that at least some of these things were directed as shots towards him. Anyway, fast forward to 2013. Katy Perry was top of the pops with her hit song Roar. We all remember Roar.
I love Katy Perry, just to be clear.
Like how she looks or her music?
I love her music first, and then how she looks second.
Perfect. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm more of a fireworks man or firework man.
Fireworks, yeah.
Over Roar, but you know,
it's just
I go either way.
She's an icon.
Pump the brakes a little bit. Insidious Chapter 2 was supplying us with chills and thrills, Ryan. And on the wrestling side of things in 2013, Stephanie McMahon and her husband Triple H were the on-screen bosses of the WWE, calling themselves the Authority. You remember Triple H?
Triple H, yeah.
Okay. The youngest son of Dusty Rhodes, Cody, he found himself on the wrong side of the Authority after accidentally offending Triple H. And so, after that happened, a match was made between Cody Rhodes and the Authority's chosen champion, a man that we've also seen before when he faced off with Mick Foley and he took some thumbtacks to the back, Randy Orton. However, a caveat was added where if Cody Rhodes lost the match, he would then be fired from the WWE. Welp, as luck would have it, Randy Orton won and Cody was fired. But this was not the end of the story. The following week, Cody's older brother by 16 years, so there's a very large age gap, and they have different mothers, but Dustin, in his Goldust form, he would reemerge after a lengthy absence from the company. He had overcome drug and weight issues, and he was out to get revenge and redeem his family name. He was also put in a match against Randy Orton, and if he won, Cody would then be rehired. Unfortunately, Randy Orton was again victorious. So this left one member of the Rhodes family employed by the company. One of the greatest legends of all time, Dusty Rhodes. Dusty was overseeing the WWE's Performance Center where they trained their new talent. So with both of his sons now on the unemployment line, Dusty himself was invited to Monday Night Raw by the Authority to hear a proposal from them. Now, the indecent proposal that was pitched by Stephanie McMahon was this. Cody would be rehired, or Goldust, Dustin, would be rehired. The choice was left to Dusty, but only one of his two sons would be brought back to the company. Either the ideal, perfect son, one could say, in Cody, or the neglected son, Dustin. Dusty refused to choose. He refused to make a choice, despite Stephanie laying the guilt trip on the American Dream. Dusty told her to go to hell, and as a parting gift, Stephanie had Dusty attacked while the Shield held him in place. Now, we've seen the Shield before. It was a long time ago. That was episode 7, to be specific. You may remember them looking like a SWAT team. The Shield were a 3-man group. They were set up to dominate the 2010s and to be established as the top stars in the WWE in the years moving forward. So just as a quick refresher on who the Shield are, they were comprised of Dean Ambrose. He was the former deathmatch wrestler. Me talking about death matches in regards to Dean Ambrose is what actually set us down our deathmatch path for episode 30. There's also Seth Rollins. He's arguably the most talented in-ring member of the group. He's tremendously athletic. And then we have Roman Reigns, who's the power of the team and probably the one that the WWE had the highest hopes for. So the Shield, collectively, these 3 men, were being used as an insurance policy for the Authority. They would ensure that anyone that crossed the Authority would then face the wrath of Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns. We're still good with everything? Any clarifying questions at this point?
No.
Okay. So several weeks after that attack, Dusty returned to listen to one final proposal from the Authority, but this time he brought both Cody and Dustin along with him. The pitch was simple. Both Cody and Dustin would be hired by the WWE if they were able to beat Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns at the next pay-per-view, Battleground. However, if they lost, not only would Cody and Dustin not be rehired, but Dusty would also be fired from his job as well. Dusty accepted under one condition, that he be allowed to be in the corner of his sons during the match. Those terms were agreed to, and the match was set up for Buffalo, New York. Cody Rhodes and Goldust teaming for the first time ever, with their father Dusty Rhodes in their corner, taking on Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns of the Shield, with Dean Ambrose in their corner. And so that is the match that we're going to be watching here today.
It's a lot of backstory on this one.
Good number of
it's condensed, it's not long, but there's just a lot involved. And
yeah, I mean it's quite the backstory when you factor in Dusty Rhodes and all the stuff he's done. But yeah, and then also it factors in one of the few things that you knew about wrestling all the way back in episode 1, tagging. So there's that.
Oh, like tag team?
Yeah, tag team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go, little bone for you.
Am I going to see some bullshit like tag team stuff here?
I don't know. I don't think so. I did not choose this match with.
I mean, I've seen you do this stuff. Yeah.
That's true.
Right.
I'll fuck you. So the data before we watch this thing. Ryan's record, 50 wins. He's finally gotten past that 49 mark, which he held on to for so long.
I mean, I'm in great shape.
You're in great shape, but I liked making the reference to your favorite professional football team, the San Francisco 49ers, with your 49 wins.
Oh, God.
But now you're at 50. so I can't do that anymore.
My dad's apparently a huge 49ers fan. It's pissing me off. So
Wait, is that true?
He's just being a real douchebag about it right now.
Is he just doing it to you because he knows it'll bother you?
No, he's like, I love the new GM and the structure of the team. And like, Colin Kaepernick, he got rid of that guy. So like, I'm just like, God damn it, Dad. Like, this is the worst thing.
Oh man. Wait, but your dad, is he from that area at all or no?
No, he's a Seahawks fan, but like, he will like rep. I hate San Francisco as a city. We dealt with them a lot, at Wave. Yeah. And then also I hate their team. So like, they're 31st on my list of teams. My dad's like, oh, that's second. I could root for them. I'm like, piss me off a little bit. Anyway, just
your dad saw the heyday of Joe Montana. I can't fault him for that.
Yeah.
But, he's 50 wins, 38 losses, and a draw. This will be the 90th match that we have watched together. We've almost watched 100 matches so far, Ryan. And
100 episodes or 100 matches?
100 matches. Oh, well, we've almost hit 100 episodes, too. This is...
really?
Well, we're a little bit further away from that, because there were a few episodes where we watched multiple matches. This is episode 83.
Still, it's deep.
It is a deep one.
It's as tall as Tim Duncan.
And you're on a one-match winning streak. You won last week, so...
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Any questions, clarifying bits of information, etc.?
Well, I'm just gonna hop into this match and I'm gonna go with my heart. So
perfect. That's all I can really hope for. All right. Well, we will be back. We'll watch at Battleground the Shield of Rollins and Reigns taking on the Brotherhood of Cody Rhodes and Goldust. We'll be right back.
Not gold member.
Not gold member. By the way.
Tonight for Dusty Rhodes, it's an opportunity to be there for his sons and perhaps become the dad he never was for Goldust. To provide support in this matchup with their jobs on the line, here we go. Cody and Goldust versus the tag team champions, The Shield.
Tag and Goldust, this is your family, man.
You gotta get the Cody.
This is your family. You gotta be good once as you ever was.
That's all you gotta do is just do it one time, Goldust. Get there. Here comes Cody.
Come on, Cody.
And Cody Rhodes.
Wow.
He's the now for the Rhodes family. And Cody Rhodes exploding.
It is the now enough.
And Cody Rhodes, disaster kick caught him. Now Ambrose.
And Ambrose going to continue to try to get in this thing. The brilliance of the Shield.
Yeah, Rhodes got suckered in, and now Dusty. Dusty Rhodes.
Look at this. The American Dream. Come get you some right here.
Yes! The American Dream. The Flying Elbow.
Funky like a monkey.
And reluctant illegal man Rollins and Cody.
Watch it.
Rollins looking to steal one.
No.
This way. Cody stays in it.
It's up to you, Cody.
Cody stays in it.
It's up to you, Cody.
Cody's got him. Crossroads. Crossroads.
It's for your family.
Wow. The Rhodes have done it. The Rhodes have done it. Cody and Dustin are going back to work.
The team of Cody Rhodes and Goldust.
The Rhodes family is whole again. America.
We're back. We just watched Cody and Dustin, a.k.a. Goldust Rhodes, with Dusty in their corner, taking on the Shield, 2/3 of the Shield anyway, in Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. Ryan, what did you think of the match?
That was my easiest called match I've done in this entire series. I think the intro really gave it away.
Just that video package, or my thing, or the video package?
The video package where I'm a visual learner.
Sure. I mean, I can understand that. Sometimes in wrestling, you don't know what part of the story you're in. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, maybe there would have been one more match after this where it was like, oh, winner take all, like, for real, you're fired or something. But yeah, like, the way it was positioned very much felt like the Rhodes had to win because the stakes were too high.
Yeah, it didn't take away from it. Like, it was an easy call, and then, maybe we can go on from there. So
Sure. But yeah, we talked about the video package. You mentioned while we were watching it, among the most dramatic, if not the most dramatic video package that we've seen so far.
Well, I think there's a lot of dramatic stuff that happens in wrestling. I don't know why I don't even know if it's the most dramatic, but it was very dramatic,
Yeah.
And I think it's like that new school like era of like where it's just even like I don't know, like I like the more old school stuff, but like this one like had like it was just it was so much drama tied up into the initial like start of it.
Yes. So. With and I even made the reference calling back to the South Park episode of Seth Rollins being addicted to abortions and everything. But,
it was fantastic.
Then after the video package, they cut to a backstage promo with Dusty, Goldust, and Cody. What'd you think of the promo they cut backstage?
That's all American family right there. You know?
All American. That's just
not perfect, maybe not even good, but they're family.
Maybe not even good, but just the type of people you'd see living next door to you in Snohomish.
Exactly. I'm not, man.
The goth son and Goldust. You've got the jock and Cody, and then you got that old man just drinking his Molson out in the front yard.
100%.
But the Shield out first. Again, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. General thoughts on the Shield?
Just not much. I didn't think they brought a ton, and they didn't really go into the backstory with them very much in the beginning. So I just didn't have a lot of reference, but like very bland is what I would say.
Okay.
And in this particular match, it was just a bland, you know.
It was a good match. It wasn't necessarily a highlight for the Shield. It definitely seemed like. He was highlighting the Rhodes boys a little bit more. Right.
That's what
by design.
Yeah.
But after the Shield, they make their entrance, and then we have the Rhodes coming out to Dusty's classic, "He's American Dream." His classic 80s theme, which everybody loves. Everybody loves that theme.
And I asked, sorry, I couldn't hear you. When did this match take place?
2013.
Like what year?
2013.
So it seemed very, very recent. So.
Yes. Yeah. This is definitely an older Dusty, older Goldust. But yes, this is for sure later era than the Rumpus Time thing. But I just wanted you to have a little bit of background of this is who these people are, etc. It was obviously with the obvious exception of Cody, who came around a little bit later than the other folks. But yeah, so we got Cody and Dustin out with Goldust. I don't know that I'm sure that if I listened to every episode back, I could probably find one. The Cody turnaround through the match was among the most notable, for lack of a better term, turnarounds that you've done on any wrestler, I would say. Yeah. From going, like, I think so. You actively disliked him, maybe most of anyone in the match. And then by the end of the match, I think he might have been your favorite guy in the whole thing.
Total redemption arc on Cody.
Redemption arc for Cody. Why? What did you not like about him?
He's a little like, you know, he's just, there's not a lot of character to him. You know, he is like the jock type guy. Like, he's just this good looking guy who comes in there, right? You know, and he's just kind of, what are you? You know, there's no like, it just seems like a little backstory to him. He's kind of flashy guy, but like, you know, as I progress, you know, things,
I get it.
I watch, you know, I'm willing to change my mind, Eric.
That's right. Open-minded. If nothing, if not open-minded, that Ryan Murphy. I will say, not that this factors into this match or anything, but like when Cody first started wrestling, like the knock on him, and he's even addressed like seeing this posted all the time online. In the WWE wrestling games, they would refer to when you would make your own character, that was called Create a Wrestler, or you could abbreviate it to CAW, K or CAW. A lot of people online would take to calling Cody Rhodes Cody Rhodes because he was just so bland and generic, and so he had to really kind of fight to establish like a character.
Right.
Yeah. So.
There's just nothing to the guy, you know. He's no Mick Foley.
He's no maybe in time he can become a Mick Foley, but yes, at 2013, definitely not a Mick Foley. But yeah, so we get the match going. I think you were a little. I don't think you were super invested at the start of the match necessarily. Like you made your pick before the match ever even started, and like you had a very complete understanding, in my opinion, of like the stakes and the storyline going into the match, but. I didn't feel like you were super engaged in the start. Would that be fair to say?
It took it well into the match to get like engaged. It was just there was some good like moves, but like it was just again bland match for a bit, you know.
So the starting off folks were Cody and Seth. They were just kind of doing like standard. We've got like a big body drop from Cody, a drop kick to Roman Reigns. Like nothing super flashy, but like nothing looked shitty. I'll say like it was all very well executed, snappy. You know, I think Ryan was just waiting for that one. It's usually that one big thing that like gets its hooks in you, and then you can start getting invested. I think in this match, not to jump too far ahead necessarily, but it might have been that moonsault from Cody that was like, okay, something, a big move to get Ryan invested, maybe.
I mean, it was that, and then you could tell the crowd immediately got into it, you know, and then you know that was then it's pretty good after that. But.
A lot of the match was a lot of the Shield sort of cutting off the ring. We talked a little bit about that during the match itself, from what parts you could actually hear me during when I was yelling at you. But yeah, like in a lot of tag team matches, what you'll find is the bad guy team especially, they will intentionally keep one of the other team members on their side of the ring, keep them from making tags, and then you're trying to build to what they call in the biz a hot tag. So the hot tag is where the guy finally makes it to the corner, big tag, and then the fresh man runs in. He's a big house of fire and starts clearing house and kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah, I mean, I think you saw. I saw like I mean, I don't know. I saw a lot of lackluster tag teaming. You know, you
could have used for more tagging. Is that I remember you mentioned that at one point. They were in there
for so long. They were just in there and they weren't utilizing their partner. You know?
Right.
Like, plus, I didn't know the 5-second rule existed. So that's
and that's kind of like fast and loose. Like if you're really, because I know how you're a stickler for like very firm rules, like the infamous 10 count when you're outside of the ring, which is never actually 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But the 5-second rule is very similar as well when it comes to tag team wrestling. Like, but you're allowed to, essentially you can do a move and then you need to get the fuck out of the ring. That's like the expectation. Another thing that we didn't actually talk about that eventually would come into play in this match is you are allowed, if you're the man if you're not the legal man, if you're like the one outside, like on the apron, you are allowed to like break up pinfalls. You can also break up submission holds. That's more of a gray area. I've heard it said a couple times, like literally in my over 30 years of watching wrestling, I think I've heard announcers refer to this less than like 5 times. But like at one point in time in wrestling, you were allowed to do that like twice, but you couldn't do that a third time or else you'd be disqualified.
Have we seen a match? I almost feel like we have, but like where that rule, like, or one of those vague rules has been called to end a match.
We've never seen it. I think one time in WCW, they did actually end a match because somebody kept breaking up pins too much.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what match that is, but I remember that happening once, and then everyone.
It doesn't happen. Like
no,
like that's the thing. Like these, and I think it's a good part of wrestling. Don't get me wrong. It's just like you know, especially if I'm getting fucked by it, then I'm pissed. You know?
Yeah, so the one thing, and this doesn't necessarily tie in with your question, well, it kind of does. You'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. So a lot of times in like wrestling, when you're watching a wrestling show, just about every single match is either going to end by pinfall or submission. But technically, matches can end by disqualification. They can also end by countout. You almost never see those things because the crowd immediately will turn on those things. Like if a match ends by disqualification or countout, like regardless of how good the match was, it's almost like if the match was really good and it ends one of those ways, people are even more disappointed by it. So you very infrequently see that unless that match ends that way to build to another match where it's like, oh, well, now we're in a cage, so now there's no disqualifications or anything like that. Which is why go ahead.
I do think wrestling fans put money on these matches.
Most don't. There is the capability, like I know DraftKings,
like an inside betting ring for the. Like, I'm not saying like it's on the Vegas boards, but I'm saying like
wrestling betting apparently does exist. I don't know where you go to do it, but I don't think the majority do.
Okay.
Yeah, I never have, and I mean, I'm up there as far as wrestling fans go, as far as my fandom, and I've never personally wagered on wrestling. Although I do have a pick'em thing for a title belt, so I mean, I guess that's a form of wagering. But anyway, back to the match. There was actually 2 hot tags in this match. The first one was to Goldust. Again, he comes in, big house of fire. He's throwing uppercuts to people. I noticed you didn't laugh, but you chuckled when Goldust was doing the big 10 punch in the corner on top of Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah, when the crowd was counting?
Yeah, people love counting. People love to count.
Yeah. yeah. I like that. I like that.
That was good. And Goldust, so right before this, Cody had hit his big moonsault, his backflip off the top rope. Goldust, he doesn't do exactly that. It's more of a crossbody where he's just kind of like turning sideways. But he hits one of those, but then, of course, he goes for a big crossbody, just running across the ring. Roman Reigns avoids that, and then Goldust goes spilling outside of the ring. And you almost lost that one via countout right there. I know you were a little worried about that there, Ryan.
I was not.
But we'll jump ahead a little bit. So Goldust, he starts kind of willing himself up. Roman Reigns is trying to cut off the tag a few times, but then eventually Goldust power slams, makes a hot tag to Cody. Cody does a springboard drop kick to enter the ring, which is impressive. And then he picked up Rollins by the legs, and Rollins' arms were hanging on the ropes. And then he did like a big kick to the balls / stomach from there.
Oh. which was that's what I was like. That's what I was concerned about losing, because like when someone doesn't move like that, it's always like everyone's like, oh, that's kind of a cheap shot, and then it just the momentum shift. That was the most concerning point of the match.
I had no idea that you were concerned at that point of a loss at that stage. Cody almost cost you the whole thing, apparently.
He almost did for his redemption.
And then immediately after you were on the verge of maybe losing, you thought you were going to win when Cody picked up Rollins for a move that they call the Muscle Buster, where he kind of has them by the legs and they're like stacked on top of each other, drops them down, cover 1, 2, and then out of nowhere, Roman Reigns slides in to break up the
I did think it was over right there, so.
It had you. And this was like probably the highlight of the match, was this kind of ending sequence here. So we've got disaster kick where Cody springs off the rope and delivers a boot to the face to Roman Reigns. Then Roman gets clotheslined outside. At this point, that's when Ambrose, he confronts Dusty Rhodes on the outside, who Dusty takes his belt off, clocks Ambrose in the face. Ambrose is then kind of begging off, getting away from Dusty. And then when Roman Reigns tries to blindside Dusty, Goldust runs in and makes the save, tackles him. And then as all this chaos is happening outside of the ring, Seth Rollins attempts to schoolboy roll up Cody for a quick, cheap victory. Cody kicks out, hits the Crossroads. 1, 2, 3. We've got the Rhodes boys back in the WWE.
But I think with wrestling, like any sport, this is what I like. When the momentum starts hitting and the crowd starts getting like nuts, you can kind of feel it.
Yes, for sure.
And that was what happened there. I was like, okay, that's it. Like I knew at that, right at the beginning of that sequence, I was like, okay, sick.
And may I say, it feels like that match was like the perfect length of time for you.
I think so. Yeah.
Didn't overstay its welcome.
No, it didn't. Yep. I think it could have ended right at the perfect time. It was about to.
so that's my point, is that it didn't. So it was the perfect amount of time. I feel like that was the perfect Ryan length of match.
Yeah. It was good. Yeah.
Because that doesn't get called out on. There's a lot of matches that get called out on for being too long. So I think it's important to call out a match that's just right. That porridge was just right for Ryan.
It was good. Yeah.
Anything else worth talking about before we rank it?
I think I've said it all. So.
Okay. All right. Let's pull up the list. Let's pull up our list here. So let's see. Where are we thinking? What's your initial instinct?
It's going to be somewhere between like probably 35 and 45.
So to translate that, so 35 is good, kind of like middle of good, and then 45 is very top end of okay.
Yeah, and I think that's like this match is never something I'll like, come back to as a match that I'm like sick. Like I need to recall this match. Like I thought it was okay, but I also thought like part of it, like I did like the ending of it. That's where I was like, okay,
Sure.
I love that feeling about wrestling right there.
Yeah.
Again, I am more of like an old school like fan with wrestling, and like,
Everyone says that about you.
at this point, I don't know, like, but like now I definitely am. So like, but it wasn't like, it definitely wasn't like anywhere below that,
Sure. I guess the question then becomes, would you say, like, just coming out of it, was that match good or was that match okay?
For me, I think I put it more at the top of okay.
Really? I'm surprised. I thought that you really enjoyed that match coming out.
I did, and I think putting this match at the top of okay is a compliment to this match.
So I've been actually, and I've mentioned this before, the inspiration for this whole show was there's a video game website called Giant Bomb, and it's been discontinued since, but at one point in time the plan was that they were going to be ranking every single fighting video game ever made. And I thought I loved the idea of that. And so they would usually play two fighting games per episode and like rank them on this gigantic list. And so that was what inspired me to try and replicate that in some form or fashion.
This list that we're
the whole show.
The whole show.
The premise of the show of you
wow.
had never seen any wrestling, and you're for the very first time watching these matches and ranking them. The whole premise of this show stemmed from ranking of fighters. I'm blatantly ripping it off. But the reason I mention that, one of the people responsible for that has a podcast and a YouTube thing and whatever, where now he's doing the same thing, but he's ranking every single original Nintendo game. And so as I'm listening to him talk about it, he's making a point to say, okay, this match or this video game is better than X, but not as good as Y. And so I'm going to do that right here. Just a little added snippet of morsel of information, because as people are listening to us, you say top of okay, but what does that actually mean in the context of what we've seen? So this is for the benefit of the audience here.
Well, that gets a lot more difficult.
Well, I'm saying it. Well, I'm going to say it, and then if you want to change it, we still can. So what you're saying to me, top of okay, so you're saying that this would be, you think that this match was better than Macho Man Randy Savage versus Diamond Dallas Page, which that match was a street fight. There was one point where they were using a Weber barbecue grill as a weapon against one another, and a referee got pile driven.
I mean, it just seems like there's hundred matches. Like I going back through, like that seems but there has to be a reason why I put that there.
Yeah. I mean, sure, yes, I think so.
I can't recall the specific reason, but like,
but you're also saying this match is not as good as Gorgeous George versus Hans Schnabel, which was the only match that we've seen from the 1950s.
Well, okay, all right, hold on. I also didn't say it had to be on top of Macho Man and Randy Savage. You
said this is going to be on top of okay, which the top of okay would be above.
Top of okay, but the top of okay is a huge, massive list. It can still be on the top of it and be, maybe it goes ahead of Ron Van Dam,
Did you just call him Ron Van Dam?
Rob Van Dam.
You said Ron Van Dam.
Okay, well, Eric.
That, which is a I mean, I know. Okay, I'm not going to get into it, but yeah.
Right, Eric, it doesn't matter. You get my point, okay? It's still on the top. If like percentage-wise, this is okay. Is the
I was taking it literally. I was assuming that you meant very tippy top, but you're not saying that.
I mean on the top of it. It had in the top 5 of it.
Okay, so you're saying Rob Van Dam and Sabu.
I don't know which one to pick it at. I'm trying to pick a fair place. I don't know. Eric, these are getting harder and harder to fucking rank. Okay,
I know.
Especially this one.
You couldn't even be bothered to fucking make notes about a dream you had involving my family. So what were the odds of you ever making notes about these matches, Ryan?
Okay. Let's see. It looks like the Rob Van Dam match was against a couple Japanese fighters.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. There was like literally no backstory to that one at all. It was a great match, but the backstory was zero, non-existent.
I almost like if I'm looking at the two, one I lost and one I won, and I almost want to
I mean, that would be very on brand for you. So what are you thinking then?
Let's see. I think you said barbecue grates. I love that.
Yeah, Weber grills, sure.
So I almost don't want to I feel like there's a reason I put it there, but I'll put it right below them. All right. Put it right below them.
Okay. So just to confirm, so everyone's clear on this. So Ryan is saying that the Shield versus Cody Rhodes and Goldust is worse than Macho Man Randy Savage versus Diamond Dallas Page in a street fight or a no holds barred match or whatever that was. But it is better than Rob Van Dam and Sabu versus Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinzeki. That is the final placement. New number 44.
This is the way we're gonna do it. I get, but one of the things, we were to go back in time.
You know what? Can I just make a wish, a Christmas wish? Yeah. Don't you say this every episode?
Okay, but it's important every episode.
It's not ever been important. I'm going to start editing it out, so no one's ever going to hear you say it besides me. So just don't annoy me anymore. Because in retrospect, if we had gone back and had you put a decimal point number to these things, maybe it'd be different. But we didn't do that. So unless you're willing to go back and rewatch all of them and do that, then you're just doing mental masturbation, Ryan. I'm
living in the past, okay?
Yeah, you need to come into the now. You need to come into the now.
Fuck it. It's fine. I feel like this match is well placed, I don't think I feel like it's well placed. I think you got to be honest about it. It wasn't, fucking amazing, great, good.
I thought it was okay. Good. I personally would put it in good.
I put it close to good, so there you go.
So there you go.
Also, I see there's a tab Eric's correct ranking.
Oh yeah, no, I was going to mention that. Yes, that's a work in progress.
Is that okay?
I haven't done anything with that. That's just a copy of your ranking. You just
copied it over, and you're gonna all right.
I have
I like that tab. I just a little disrespect in the name of the tab, but I
have a Word document. At some point in time, I don't know when I'll ever have the time to do this, but at some point I will sit down and maybe just do a quick podcast here and there, just saying okay, I'm just going to go through and re-rank all of Ryan's shit the correct way.
Maybe what we should do is put a segment in that as you pick one match and just kind of move it, or do one thing at a time.
You got so mad at me the last time that I forced you to re-rank something, so I don't think I'm going
to. I don't know. I'm not talking about me re-ranking it. I'm talking about you re-ranking it.
Oh.
Think one match is you pick any match and you just put it in its right spot,
Yeah, we need more segments on these shows. That's probably the main thing.
Yeah. It would be but okay.
There we go. New number 44. New okay match. I was expecting a good match, but here we go.
That match, okay, just to be so that match almost got put in
good,
bad.
What?
I didn't care
up until the end.
Yeah, until the end.
Wow.
So. It bumped its way up. I just don't for me. It just didn't make the cut too good. So, wow. But it bumped. It was good. I enjoyed it. It bumped itself up. But I gotta be real with the audience.
That's the main thing I appreciate about you. Let's see here. So that brings us to the end of the program. Oh, I've got some good ones. The nice thing about us not having done this for a while is I've had some moments where I'm just I'm putting this down on Wisdom Tree. But now I got to figure out which one I want to do. But either way, we are at Eric's Wisdom Tree. So it's a little abstract. I'll allow you to ask any questions of this thing in just a moment. But the blanket thing. And I'm not talking about natural colors here. But I don't think you should be allowed to dye your hair after the age of 60.
Oof. Okay. I think that's more controversial than abstract.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah. I think if you put that out there, especially the millennial era.
The other one was more controversial. So yeah. So I was in Costco and I was walking around shopping, etc., and there was a guy, no cart, just walking, who had red. And I'm not talking about like, a natural red. We're talking like bright red.
Yeah.
And he was an old man just walking, very cavalier about his walking around. I just got a weird vibe from him. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
And like, I just feel like you shouldn't be allowed to dye your hair. Although, again, now that I'm saying this out loud, maybe that's an identifier. Maybe him doing that was allowing me to be like, this person, keep an eye on them.
A walking red flag. So
walking red flag. But yes, any sort of like green or just wacky colors, like once you're 60, like no, not allowed anymore. Yeah. We can't abide by that as a society.
I agree. I agree with that. Like I don't know. Like, I mean, of course, obviously it's not a debate. It's their decision, but it is weird.
It's weird. I don't trust them. I think that there's innately something shifty and shady about them, especially because his wasn't fresh. It was like a faded out version of it. Like it was like you remember did you ever see The Dark Knight? You probably didn't.
I haven't watched the whole thing.
You're too busy watching your erotica films. I understand. But anyway, in the Dark Knight, Heath Ledger had like his hair was like greenish, but it was like this dingy, like he had colored it months prior and just never like washed it out type of thing. That's kind of the vibe that I got from this red-haired old man. So
the only thing I agree with your wisdom tree here. I do. Like, I agree with it, but I will say as a kind of a caveat or a cutout to this, like I do think every once in a while there's a single guy I can, observe this now.
Sure.
Sometimes there's like an attractive woman who like does really like, it's dyed hair, but it looks like, well, I'm more of a fan of just a regular, like keep it blonde, brunette, whatever, red, all of that's good. Like, but sometimes it's like, nice. Actually, that looks kind of cool. Like, but mostly it's on like attractive women. That's it,
Yeah.
And that, I just think that's a little mild cut, but I do in general fully agree. Like 16 is probably the cutoff for you to dye your hair, unless you can really pull it off,
60,
like
60.
Everyone can pull something off, but it's rare,
It is rare. Yeah. And if you do dye your hair and you're over 60, I've got my eye on you. You're not getting one over.
Did you say 16 or 60?
60.
Oh, I thought you said, I agree with 16.
You shouldn't be able to dye your hair if you're over 16.
No, I thought 16.
No, this is a man well into his 60s.
No, I do think that the cutoff should be about 16. You could do it in like high school, maybe 18. High school, you can play around with it.
Should be high school.
Oh, 60 okay. 60, of course, that's a cutoff. Like, I said 16. Like,
so it's not even a controversial take anymore. This is just
60. Oh my God.
No,
you're being so generous right here.
It was a man well into his 60s, just very cavalier, and he didn't have a cart. That's what also threw me off. Like, he didn't seem to have a destination in mind.
Too. You should have a cart in Costco.
Yeah, no cart, just aimlessly wandering towards the dairy, and it's just what the fuck's going on with this?
Totally fair. 60, of course. God, fucking 60. Jesus Christ, you're way too nice, Eric.
That's everyone says that about me. Anything else we should address before we wrap it up?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, I don't know when this will actually be hearable to people. Maybe it'll be 2024. But if either way, I either hope that you have a happy holiday season, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all the good stuff, or if it's already happened, I hope it was good. I hope it's a Happy New Year. You can say that well into February, so that gives me some time. But Ryan, any well wishes that you want to give to the listeners?
No.
He's keeping them all. He's hoarding all the well wishes to himself, which is also his right. But remember, he's on TikTok, RJ Murphy 1922. Give him a follow. Make sure to tag him and all sorts of stuff. I'm sure you could probably tag people in TikTok things. But if you're not hard, get hard. Once you get hard, stay hard. That is all, folks. Good.
Bad.
What?